a very interesting build. I really wanted to play this to kind of feel like, how does the wishboard feel? How does the wishboard feel? And I ended up leaving just kind of liking the whole deck strategy. Um, I didn't like Manamorphose so much. I think it was okay. I mean, I guess the floor is really low and then the ceiling's kind of high. So I'm interested in like looking at Wish plus Tablet in other shells, or potentially just Wish and like four color Omnath or Wish plus Tablet somewhere else too. But I think I'm just gonna shelf this for now. I think I'm just gonna shelf it for now. I don't know. Maybe it's just so sick. Maybe it's so sick. I'll say I didn't like the grape shot very much. I think I'll put a needle. We could do one more. We could do one more. I'm just trying to think. Do I want to cut Manamorphose for something? It like I don't want to play Rao because it's too fragile. We can't play creatures. If I could play like more Ruby Medallions, like a non-creature cost reduction, that would be really nice. But then you wouldn't be getting rid of Manamorphoses anyways. Manamorphose is nice with Tablet. It's okay with Tablet, yeah. Maybe add Mage Bane Lizard for Storm. Mage Bane kills me too much, I think. I thought about it, but like, how can I play Mage Bane Lizard here? Flame Slash Bolts. Yeah, Flame Slash is kind of interesting. So Flame Slash kills Ice Till Explorer. It kills Dryad of the Elysian Grove. It's a little bit better against Frog. I was kind of thinking that Chandra copying Lightning Bolts was kind of important. Play a Light Up Night. I don't think we need ways closing games. I think that was a lesson from this. Is it's really easy to win games, and everyone always wants like that one win con. Major Burn with the 8 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. I think I'm down to play 2 Flame Slash over the bolts. I think that makes sense. Is there another card we can play for Storm? So our options are Trinisphere, Soulless Jailer, Trinisphere, Soulless Jailer, and the Damping Sphere we're playing, and I guess Mage Bane Lizard, but like I think the Trinispheres and the Mage Bane Lizards are really deadly for us. I guess we can just play Soulless Jailer. Soulless Jailer stops my wishes and stops my stuff too. Flute's pretty bad against them. Party Thrasher is interesting. Thrasher is really interesting. The thing is, you can't play just one creature. I think you're just too vulnerable to removal. We have the Damping Sphere, but the problem is our own Damping Sphere hurts us a lot too. Our own Damping Sphere hurts us a lot. Tradition makes sense. It doesn't impede our own plan. Yeah, I mean, it's bad with the Ruby Medallions. Artifact Recursion. What? I don't. You have to think of a specific card. Could you play some Boros Duels with High Noon in the board? High Noon's also really bad for us with with Tablet, Wrenn's Resolve. It's also just very problematic. What if we wish for a card and you're lost to the sauce? That's crazy. Artist Talent. I want a sideboard. Oh, you want to play Artist Talent in this deck? I think it's too slow, probably. Vortex doesn't really do anything against Tron. No, Witchborn Orb doesn't beat Storm. They wish for an answer pretty easy. I'm a big unstable amulet believer with discharge needing view of 3. We have too many 2s, I think. What about Surgical? It's not a bad wish target. I think it is a bad wish target. Like 3 mana sorcery speed Surgical sucks. Surgical's good at instant speed, you know. I think that Ghost Vacuum is best. Yeah, so the thing with Mage Bane Lizard, I'm just gonna die to it, but maybe it's better. I'm gonna die to it too much. Yeah, we could try Vandalblast over Shatterstorm. I think that's probably fine. Is Archaic crazy? Yeah, it's too. We're not supporting enough. Could main deck one explosives? I'm mostly at the moment looking for a sideboard option for Storm, and if there's a better one, the Damping Sphere, which is what we have. Weather Storm is not good against Storm. I don't think we turn on Delirium easily enough for Unholy Heat. Sphere and Crypt. I feel like I'd do like Sphere and Trinisphere. Yeah, Eidolon also kills me too much. It's tough when I'm playing so many of the same cards, you know. Jailer seems better than Sphere. So the problem with Jailer is it turns off my wishes, it turns off my Wrenn's resolves. I think Trinisphere. I think I'm gonna go with Trinisphere. Trinisphere is also like a good grab against prowess. I might play both. Arm Shake could work. Well, it's just so awkward to have to like splash a like one of in the sideboard, you know, or it's like three of in the sideboard. Wait, Scalding Viper is a one-sided Magebane Lizard? I thought it was symmetrical. Whenever they cast a... Oh, it only deals one damage, though. It's too easy. It's too easy for them to play through. Manamorphose upside is it draws. I mean, it draws and makes mana when you have Ruby Medallion. It's just kind of hard when you play Ruby Medallion to not play Manamorphose, I think. Witchbane Orb does nothing against Storm. It's like a blank card against Storm. It's just, you know, these cards are like, please just don't have any answer for this in your 75. They wish for an answer to it and they kill it and they kill you. Scion seems like an option. Yeah, I thought about Stormscale Scion too. We haven't played against any counterspell decks really. Okay, and then we're gonna play the Needle over the Grape Shot. Chalice on 2. I have 21 2-drops. It's just this is probably, I think Trinisphere is going to be the best plan. And also just like I think we can also say Storm is like an unwinnable matchup for the most part unless they have like two like somewhat non-functional draws in the same match, which totally can happen. Totally can happen against Storm, and I think I'm okay feeling like we have game against almost everything else. And you know, if we run into Storm, we run into Storm. I thought that the whole package looked pretty cool. Chandra was, I think, the best win con. Okay, beautiful hand, snap keeping. Emergent zone into land base and Grape Shot. Let's go. Boy, do I love Shake-Up Week. So they reveal a polluted Delta to their Cenote Scout. I am a big Cenote Scout fan. I think this card is good. Don't worry, I'm not playing Storm opponent. I wonder how many basics they're playing. I mean, they're playing Fetches and Cavern, so not infinite. They play an untapped Breeding Pool. Let's go. 2 of them. So we get to see that. I haven't built a card with this deck, or deck with this card yet. We'll see how it looks. So I think I want to target their actual mana maybe because of the trios. Although I might be killing both trios here. I guess so. I drew my land, so I can target here. Challenge tomorrow. I guess we can kill one of the trios now, and we can wait for them to do something for the other one. Merfolk's probably not that bad right now, actually. It is pretty good against most of the linear decks. That being said, I don't know if that Harmonized Trio is good. Shout out the Pyroclasm that y'all wanted me to cut. Mindspring Merfolk. Alright, so I'm down to 18. Wish would be a good draw. Alright, let's see if we can resolve this Pyroclasm. I'm having a lot of fun playing Wish like this. Two basics? Let's go. So I can flashback Wish, and Wish with 1 mana available, so that wouldn't be so good. I guess I'll just flashback Wrenn's Resolve. Or maybe I should be flashing back a land destruction. Okay, so there's a flashback for next turn. I'm gonna play a mountain from my hand so I can hold up Galvanic Discharge. But we have all these still available for next turn. I can play the Field of Ruin. Tap land for our opponent. So we're gonna play the Field of Ruin. I'm gonna cast Sundering Eruption. The field one of these. I want to leave them with the Breeding Pool / Hedge Maze so that they so we have Field of Ruin targets. All right, they got 3 power. They revealed a Sylvoon in their hand. That card's pretty good. They're probably not going to get to cast it. So I can wish for Chandra, cast Chandra. Sure. All right, I'm glad we gave it another league. I'm glad we gave it another league. We 3-2 the first one. Storm matchup's going to continue to be tough. But the deck feels very good. Deck has been feels like it feels smooth somehow. Oh, this hand has no lands. No one's mentioned this yet, but we could play Kahira, and we could. I thought about how we could Manamorphose into Kahira. They are only playing 2 basics. I thought a little bit about how we could Manamorphose into Kahira, and I'm like, stop it. Bonaparte with those 26 months. Thank you. Welcome back. We got a turn 1 trio. Oh, we have the monks. Okay, sorry. Also, that's good. It's good that we can't. It's good that we can't. All right, so they're gonna get a brainstorm prepared without mana to be able to cast it currently, but we could be nice and give them the mana to cast it. Yeah, I agree. Our sideboard slots are more premium. I was just really annoyed that that we could cast Kahira is all I was trying to say. This is legal and standard, right? Trio plus Silvergill Mentor. Is it worth it to have 1 or 2 indestructible lands? They just enter tapped is the problem. Sometimes it'll be nice. Maybe I couldn't. Maybe I shouldn't have kept the hand without any removal against Merfolk. Maybe I should be happy to give Merfolk a much needed win before game 3. Brainstorm at Modern! Mentor is pretty good with Trio and Hexcatcher. A Flare of Denial, huh? No, we haven't faced Belcher yet. I think I'm gonna board in the explosives. I guess I could wish for explosives. Okay, fair. Did you consider Petrified Hamlet in the side instead of Needle? Wish lets you play lands too. mean, Needle is a bit more all-encompassing, right? Like, you could name Cauldron, you could name Karn the Great Creator, you could name Goblin Charbelcher. Hamlet only hits lands. Have not seen Tamio, no. Yeah, I really wanted to play Counterbalance with that card, and I just can't let myself figure it out, or like every time I sit down, I immediately stop. Oh, you thought Hamlet was just like Needle any card? Oh no. That would be really crazy if it was just untap colorless land plus Pithing Needle. Okay, on the play, we don't have any creature removal. They're only on 2 basics around the play, and we have Wrenn's Resolve, 3 lands. I feel like it's gonna be fine. Forget blue, play Power Balance. You know, Power Balance is they have an island naturally. That's a card that I always kind of wanted to try casting, and I never felt like it really deserved to get cast. Despite me like kind of wanting to get around to it. So we only saw 2 basics game 1. I mean, it's possible that they were like intentionally psyching me out for game 3. Sometimes people do that. So we can play the Ruby Medallion, and if they want to counter with this, they can sack both of their things, which I think would be a fine trade. Have to play this first. So they could flare also or force, and then that would throw a little bit of a wrench in this plan. Be a force worse for us. So you have 4 cards in their hand. They force pitch to force last turn. They play a Breeding Pool, tapped. They're going to Mutavault? They are going to Mutavault, so this is going to attack me for 6 down to 7. Funny numbers. So, I mean, I'm always using 4 mana next turn. So I guess I'll play this first untapped. So they don't have another force. They might flare this. I think if they only had the Hexcatcher. What? Pay 1. What's the plan? What's the plan? You turned this into Innocent or Barter? You turned this into Barter and Blood plus Ruby Medallion? So it's so you can resolve Chalice on 2. So I get explosives on 0. I guess Meltdown is a bit more efficient. Set X down to 0. Yeah, because if I did X equals 1, it would have been countered by the Chalice. But it says no. Vandalblast, I guess same thing, right? I made this all for that. GG's. Why do you and Nassif play non-Eldrazi Tron matchups? I would love to play Eldrazi Tron right now. They're hiding from me. If with Harbinger you had 4 non-basics, I had a Mountain. I thought I had a Mountain in play. If I didn't, then Harbinger would have been better against me. So we're on the draw against a Multi-5 in a new matchup. Although I think this is the okay, this is not the player from earlier. Or if they are, they switch decks, and they're playing the Fleeing Goyf deck, which is probably a bad matchup. But their deck's also kind of... We have won against our opponents casting Spoils to the Vault many times. Now they're on a multi-4. They keep 4 cards. They reveal a Devourer of Destiny. They trigger the Devourer of Destiny. They play a Blooming Marsh. They pass. We're going to play a Monk. How many basics do they play? It looks like 1. 1 main, 1 side. So they play an 8-9 Goyf. Yikes. Far too big to Flame Slash, even Flame Slash Flashback. Flame Slash next turn won't do it. We could die to a few cards here. Plunge into Darkness, Spoils the Vault. Looks like they have plunge, and this will let them pay enough life to kill me with the Goyf. X-Lag enough card. We're down a game. Down a game in a not very winnable matchup. I'm gonna bring in the Magus. Opponent's playing what I guess people will usually call Cosmogoyf Fling. Do I board in the Trinisphere? I think tutoring for Trinisphere is going to be kind of slow. Oh, sorry, at bridge. I'm not going to play the Trinisphere. Sure. We'll try this one. The deck dies to pay to push a lot more than it doesn't. I agree. I don't think the deck's super good. It is very good against my deck. So they keep a 7-card hand, and then they drain me for 3 with the Chancellor. Well, I'm going to play Ruby. It's interesting that you would keep a set. I mean, they must have they must just have land spoils. So I think we could try to like boil. Oh, they just don't have it. You kept 7? You're F6'd? Maybe they yield till end of turn. While we're popping off. Game 3, I guess. Okay, they are playing it out. You played a land into my Wildfire? It's face up info. Didn't like those lands anyways. Well, they probably like this one then. Cast a Wrenn's Resolve. Cast a Wrenn's Resolve. Play field. Price of Freedom. You know what? Modern's not that bad, huh? Good format. Still got 4 lands in hand, opponent says. Good keep. So this is a mana positive Tablet of Discovery. You don't often see that. So I guess I'm gonna go Flashback Manamorphose. I just wish for Legend of Roku, I think. I'll save the Manamorphose. Why not? Opponent plays another land. Still got 4 lands in hand, they say. But I can make it work with Mountain. Is it better? Kill it then. They're giving me so much information. Should we field it first? We have a Magus in play, so we can't field. So let's go 2 mana Pinnacle Monk into Buyback Wish. 1 mana Wish. Alright, I'm just going to Trinisphere them, actually. Alright, that did it. That did it. For the most What are the decks most likely to 5-0 leagues at the moment? If you just want something to grind, I honestly, Tron is an excellent pick. No agenda. I think if I was just trying to grind leagues for wins, I'd probably be grinding Tron right now. I guess we'll keep this. My opponent does Serum Powder. Only one Serum Powder, or okay, chance of the Tangle and Devourer. So we may just be getting got here. Yeah, I know I'm playing super duper anti-Tron deck, but I do think Tron is like one of the biggest winners, and I don't think it has as much of a target on its back as a lot of other stuff. So they play a turn 1 11-12, which we actually have no plan against. We have no plan against turn 1 11-12. K Command is the best card in Modern. New worst matchup discovered. I feel like no, we're worse against Ruby Storm than that deck. IDK feels like every deck plays Consign. Yeah, Tron players back me up, or you probably won't because you don't want the secret revealed. You're not you can beat a deck that plays for Consign. Consign is not like that. Consign it's a 1-for-1 that you can play around and continue through. You know, you can play. You know, people for years they play Birds of Paradise despite Lightning Bolt existing. It's fine. You don't. It's Consign is at the end of the day it is a 1-for-1. This could be a burn instead of Prowess. We'll see. Tron's win rate is not particularly good. I'm surprised to hear that. A one-lander? Guess we're gonna try to get a basic land count. If it is burned, their land count's like 4. Maybe it's 3. I was on Consign and Briscoe, but backbreaking. I switched to regular ramp, and it still sucks. Not nearly as bad. Okay, they're out of basics. I don't know. I played as much Eldrazi as most people, you know, and I don't know. I guess this is just an attitude I have. Whenever I get 1-for-1 by anything, I'm fine. I just continue to play. I never feel like I get my back broken by Consign. Even if it you can't target your own stuff with Price of Freedom. Even if it is backbreaking, it's like it's hard for me to get like bent out of shape about it. It just feels like something I have the attitude I could just play through it. But maybe like Consign is obviously very good against Tron. But one thing too is a lot of decks that bring in Consign, they play it because the rest of the matchup's not that good, and their game 1 against it's not that good, and like your archetype as Tron naturally lines up really well against most of the Consign decks. I think it's fine. Let's run it back. How vulnerable is Eldrazi to cards like Voidmere? So the Tron build most of the time is very vulnerable to Voidmere, and Voidmere is also good against Living In. So if you do think there's going to be a lot of Tron, and we're not sure that there's going to be, but if you do, it's probably a reasonable choice. So they were Prowess, just with a very strange draw. Another Swifty. Is Modern the best format again? I don't know that it ever stopped being the best format, but that's unfortunately maybe more of a condemnation on Pioneer and Standard and Legacy compared to Modern, or compared to being a glowing review for Modern. Oh, have you ever heard of Canadian Highlander? Let me tell you. Let me tell you about Canadian Highlander. All right, so they found a threat, although it's maybe the worst one. Yeah, the untap Steam Vents. That blast me. They braid my Ruby Medallion. I'm trying to get a modern for the first time, and I'm trying to build Ruby Storm. Do you think 4 DRC is still correct? I think I've come around a lot on Artist Talent. I think DRC is very good, but I think Artist Talent is better. Wait, they have the other mounted in their hand? It's pretty painful, but I'm gonna Stone Rain them again. No love for draft. I don't think you should really ever compare constructed to limited. It's just two different games. I also think Commander is like a different game than 1v1 constructed. They have another land, the basic that in their hand that we knew about, I guess. So they keep a card on top. They don't have a 0 to pair with the Steel Cutter. They miss their attacks because they're presumably frustrated. Probably should Field of Ruin them. That's right, Price can't hit Steel Cutter. Another land. They've got 2 cards in their hands. Can they... Are they somehow like 2 burn spells? Lava Dart's the best single spell, and they have another card too. So I'm down to 8, then I'm down to 7, 5, 4. But what's their last card that they played the Steam Vents untapped for? Thankfully, they didn't find Delirium. Very bad prowess draw. I feel like I really need to win this game. So I have 6 mana. It could be a good turn to wish for Trinisphere and play a Wrenn's Resolve. Yeah, Pyroclasm seems good. Let's see if that is gonna work. I'm 1 mana short of Wildfire, which would be the best. They did play the Steam Vents untapped, which got me a little sus. Yeah, but I just don't know how it could realistically be much. All right, so we have a Galvanic Discharge up now, which is nice. And we have Flashback for a burn spell next turn. All right, we 3-2'd the last league. We're 2-1 now. I think we'll keep this on the play in an unknown matchup. We lost to Cosmogoyf Fling in round 2. All of our losses have been to like Storm or Cosmogoyf Fling. Let's go! We found the free matchup. This Belcher, probably. Sometimes Blue-White Control does play this Orc card, but almost always going to be Blue Belcher here. Yeah, they force pitching Waterlog Teachings. Not actually free. If they do play Lotus Bloom, sometimes they can get you. They play an untapped land, and then they pass. So I do think I want to play around the 2 mana counter unless you pay 1 card. Why do you say I'm banning Outburst versus Snake? Can you elaborate on why? Yeah. So I think the play patterns of Violent Outburst, Force of Negation, specifically in Living End, were really unfun, hard to interact with. Very 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 much repetitive gameplay that isn't interesting. And I do think it is odd that in this unbanned announcement they mentioned that Umezawa's Jitte has. They said bad play patterns, and then in the same announcement they're like, okay, and also we're unbanning Umezawa's and also we're unbanning Violent Outburst. And I think that like when you are curating your ban list, when you're unbanning something, you almost always should have the attitude that unbanning this is going to make gameplay more interesting and more fun and going to make the format healthier for like a foreseeable future. Whereas like I don't know that Violent Outburst can possibly do that. It's just not it's not a card that does that. It's a card that has like fast, very difficult to interact with combos, even if you're playing a lot of sideboard cards for them. And so I think I think if you were gonna pick a card to unban that you do I want to wish for something here? If I was gonna unban a card for the sake of gameplay, I would have picked Deathrite Shaman. I think Deathrite Shaman would have been awesome unban. I think Birthing Pod would have been also like a really fun unban, it seems like someone at Wizards of the Coast really likes Living End, which is fine. They could like Living End. I guess we're gonna go Field into Wish for Vexing Bauble. I mean, obviously, some people are gonna like Violent Outburst. If you like it, be happy, celebrate. I'm not trying to take that from you. I'm just trying to voice my opinion on the card. Think I impulse here. Well, the Wish for Trinisphere is looking a little juicy. All right, this makes the wish a little bit less difficult. I think Shaman might still be toxic. So, does anybody disagree that Birthing Shad the Deathrite Shaman? I mixed Birthing Pod and Shaman together. Does anybody disagree that that Deathrite Shaman would be the 6th most powerful creature in Modern? Does anybody think Shaman is more powerful than DRC, Ragavan, Guide of Souls, Ocelot Pride, or Tamio? I think that all of those are more powerful than Deathrite Shaman. I think Shaman is more versatile, can go in maybe more decks. But as far as like the power level goes, I think it is stronger than all of the cards I just listed. Yeah, it might even be lower than that, but I think it's almost undeniably like it's almost undeniably weaker than all of those cards. And what's not, and also if you notice, all of the cards I listed are Jeskai colors. There's 2 red, 2 white, and 1 blue. Deathrite Shaman being green black all of a sudden brings a little bit more parity to the colors. Yeah, opponents have not been conceding. I think they just want to see more of the deck. So, you know, I think you could still, of course, have the opinion that you don't want to unban it. That's fine. But, you know, a big part of the reason why it was banned in the first place was that it was just like the strongest 1-drop by a lot. And the power level has really eclipsed it in a big way. All right. Pass it back. Shaman does too much in one card. Keep that shit banned. I think that is a valid take to have. Even if I disagree. And also, I don't think we should talk too much. I may do a video. I may not do a video still. But for the most part, I do want to focus on like the format we have instead of the format we're wishing for. So I want to keep the Needle in as a wish target. But I think I could board in the Ghost Vacuum. Maybe I also board in the Vexing Bauble. I feel like I want to wish for it a lot of the time, but maybe I shouldn't have 2 1-mana wish targets. So I'll draw against Belcher. We have 2 lands and a Price of Freedom, plus tablets. I think it's kind of hard to mulligan this. They do suspend a Lotus Bloom, which is their best chance against my plan. DRC is Dragon Rage's Channeler. Yeah, I agree with that a lot, Chugga. I like Deathrite Shaman drains. It's really rare that you run into those games where you're like top decking and Deathrite Shaman drains are like relevant or would be relevant. It's like games of Magic just aren't like that anymore. People don't flood out nearly as often. When they do flood out and like the boards are stalled, it's usually because the board has been like swept and cleared. This brew feels so much better than the Boros Land Destruction deck. Yeah, I guess I haven't been mentioning that one so much, but this is very similar to like the Boros Land Destruction deck. intentionally. Although you get some really impactful sideboard cards with that build that you don't get access to here. So they take this down to 1 counter. I mainly mean how it ramps, provides graveyard hit, gains you life all on 1 card. You know what's funny about this is it's like the life gain is really minor. And the great I think a 1 mana dork that can be ramp and graveyard hate, I think the format can survive, especially because mana dorks mostly suck. Although one more really interesting dynamic about Deathred Shaman is it does not work with Badgerable Cub. It does not work with Badgerable Cub, which is like, to me, is so interesting that I would actually choose to not play Deathred Shaman in a lot of decks that are like built around mana dorks. They may have boarded in their basic, and then we might get to Price of Freedom them if they hit it. They did not board in a basic, which is good information too. So did lose a game to Belcher here. Going to game 3 on the play. I mean, Violent Outburst could be a temporary unban. I mean, if I agree that Violent Outburst could get banned again. I don't know. And also, like, think about the decks that played Deathred Shaman when it was really dominant. It was Birthing Pod and Jund. And so in this deck, it would be like black-based mid-range decks, and it would be Yawgmoth. And I feel like I don't know how anyone could argue that those are not archetypes that could use a big buff. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't know how anybody could argue that. Any shot Grief Fury come back? They shouldn't. Wizards of the Coast does things at random. How is Violent Outburst still a conversation? There was 1 in top 8 yesterday, 3 Boros. How could we not be talking about Violent Outburst the week it got unbanned? What are we talking about? Of course we're talking about Violent Outburst. Violent Outburst not that strong, unfun for sure, but Rhinos Living has always been so beatable. I mean, I agree that they're beatable, but I think that if you're unbanning an unfun, repetitive card, it's probably it was not a good unban, is my argument. Is it something that's gonna ruin my day or ruin the format? No. Is it something I would have probably never done? Also, yes. I agree it's not the end of the world. Right, on the play, game 3 against Belcher. We have a 1-lander that with 2 Price of Freedoms, have to mulligan. Gonna keep this. I guess we'll put back the 2nd Basic Mountain. We might hardcast a Pinnacle Monk if we just draw all lands. Yeah, when they banned Violent Outburst the first time, they like it was not that long ago they banned it, and they talked about a big part of the reason why they banned it was for unfun play patterns. In this ban announcement, when they unbanned Jitte, they said they were worried about the unfun play patterns, but yet still, there's definitely a lot of inconsistency, and obviously, like, these decisions are being made by people with different opinions, and things are very fluid, and they want to have multiple strategies available to them. But it's not a very consistent ban philosophy that Wizards engages with. One on top, one on bottom. They play Tamiyo. Interesting. We're gonna lose to Belcher. Do you think they used AI to create ban list? I would be very shocked if that was true. Especially, like, Carbon doesn't seem like someone who would be using AI to make her decisions. And when I read the article, it read like other things I've read from Carbon in the past too. I think there's like this is something you could post on Reddit.com and get upvotes for, but it's not something that really makes any sense. Right, they force this, pitch Teachings. They've got 1 card left in their hand, but they've got some Tamiyo clues that they can maybe refill with. So they have a land to play. They have a Bloom coming off. We do lose to land Belcher next turn if that's two of the 3 cards they'll have available to them. So they attack first. I guess they will always do that. Maybe they'll flip the Tamio. Yeah, I really like playing against Belcher. I don't know. I will say I am a little Boros Stockholm syndrome. Like I've been sitting in this room for 2 years playing against Boros. And whenever there's one of these decks that came and we got to play against it for a while, we got to play against a deck like this for a while and then shook up the meta. I look at all of these decks with a really favorable lens. I think I do want to be using all my cards here. This game is looking grindier. I might be wishing for an answer to Tamio though at some point. Even Titan. So Titan's one of these decks that I felt like I was a little Stockholm syndromed in with the whole time. So I do think it's really important that I wildfire this turn so they can't just Belcher me without a land in their hand. Interesting that they are thinking about this. This is my guilty pleasure. Me say Belcher bad, ugly, stinky. Yeah, you can people. This is a very subjective conversation for sure. Are there any brews that were able to be Boros you're excited to revisit? The Wizards is definitely one of these. That's why we played that a bunch so far, and it's we trophied with it yesterday. I'm probably gonna play it in challenge tomorrow. I've been thinking a lot. I'm trying to figure out other builds that fit that category. So if anything comes to mind, let me know, because not too many are coming to mind, because I feel like I've kind of deleted some of these decks from my memory maybe. Right, they play an Orderly Plaza tapped. I guess we'll play a Vexing Bauble first. We better kill the creature land so they can't bring it back with Tamia minus. I feel like I usually like to kill the white source instead because of Tamashi. If I'm going to kill the Lotus Bloom, a top deck Tamashi won't do anything. I'm not missing. Yeah, Rinse Resolve and Reckless Impulse are the same card. I feel like DRC piles in general get a lot better. I agree with that. Yeah, I like Rakdos with Kroxa is in theory gets better, since I do think Kroxa plus Arena of Glory is going to be interesting enough to see a good bit of play. Maybe they have a Whir of Invention. They can sack the Lotus Bloom to deny my card draw on the Price of Freedom, by the way. Don't they just get white with Lotus? Well, we might kill the Lotus, so that's why I wanted to kill the Plaza ahead of time, right? So if we kill both and they play Tamashi, then Tamashi does nothing. Whereas if I leave them with Plaza and kill a different land, then all of a sudden it does something. Alright, I'm gonna go to my second main phase. Doesn't Burn get a lot better now with no Flage? You know what's funny? People said the same thing about Luris, and I'm not saying that it's wrong, but Burn played Flage, and if you were gonna play Burn now, you played Flage, and when Luris got banned, I also think that your deck got better, but rough draw disruption. So next turn we could go Wish for Pithing Needle for Tamio, and then we get got by a bounce spell. Would not hate finding a Galvanic Discharge. Nice. Do I still Wish for Needle? I think I'm gonna go main phase Galvanic Discharge the Tamio. I really want to get the Pinnacle Monk down this turn. Do they have enough cards to keep the Tamio? Yeah, I mean they can activate Belcher twice. Interest Breeze visiting either Jeskai Oculus or Is It Corey Murktide. I think Is It builds in general are huge winners from the announcement. Okay, so we buy a turn on the Tamio. Then I think I want to cast the Pinnacle Monk so I can start pressuring it. And if it resolves, I'm going to cast a Price of Freedom, but it's probably going to get countered. Although this does let me keep checking the Tamio for a bit. And of course, you're still free to hate games against Belcher. I'm having a lot of fun this game. I'm having a lot of fun. Unless they go whir into Belcher here. Oh no, my fun. All right, there's the whir. They've got 2 cards to have a Belcher. Surely this is not tank Belcher. So what could they maybe are thinking mostly about they could be thinking about what to do with Tamio. They could minus on whir and whir a Belcher into play. They chose not to do that, and they chose to instead go for a Tamio ultimate when I do just have the ability to attack Tamio with the bird and deny the ultimate for another turn. So maybe they already have another copy of whir. Let's go to lead on Ruby Medallion. I think I'm interested in casting some of these main phase 1. So that if they have whir, like if they were for Belcher right now, we could Price of Freedom to Belcher. What is the origin of tank? Is it a corruption of think? Good question. I don't know. Good question though. Yeah, I know it's from poker, but I don't know what from poker, like what it means in poker really either. So they bounce my bird token. So I need to kill the bloom, I think, for the Tamashi, right? Yeah. So I guess now if their last card's another counter spell, they can ultimate the Tamio, which I'm not going to beat. Although another sync is going to get me. So they've got 2 cards in their hand. 2 syncs are accounted for already. Fun game. They play a lab. Untapped. Were their last card's Belcher? How can it be Belcher? Wait, why would they go lab pass? What card is this? It's Waterlog Teachings. It must be Waterlog Teachings, right? I think I Wildfire here. Yeah, it could be Shoal also. It's true. Should deal damage to Planeswalkers too. So I think they're going to cast Waterlog Teachings for something. Maybe not. Or for the 1-drop O-Ring permanent. Well, they would have done that main phase and they would have ulted the Tamio. They could have, maybe they should have kept this as a land, right? They grab into the Flood Maw, so fair enough. So we get Tamio ulted if they draw an untapped land. They suspend a Lotus Bloom. So I'm both pretty incentivized and not incentivized to sack the Bauble. Let's leave it in play for now. Yeah, I think I just have to leave it in play. They found it. So they bounce the needle. They ultimate the Tamio. They get to draw their deck. Sorry, I shouldn't be F6. I'm not F6, am I? Are we winning this game? So I don't know. The Vexing Bauble is really huge. Like they're gonna have a hard time leveraging these cards into cards. And I can field of ruin them here. They can only play 1 more land untapped the rest of this game. And also this fish token is like a super real threat. My opponent said the fish race is on. You win now? Well, I don't win now. I might win this game. I also get to Needle Goblin Charbelcher. I said earlier, I think this week I lost for the first time with Tamio in play. This may not be the first time I've beaten a Tamio, or I've lost for the first time after ultimating Tamio. And maybe this will be like our second time beating a Tamio ultimate. Yeah, Goblin Charbelcher also, like, it doesn't kill us in 1 activation. That's true. I'm still going to name Goblin Charbelcher. Are they going to forget about Vexing Bauble? No. It's funny to, like, get to name 2 different things with Needle this game. Name Tamashi? Tamashi, like, can never activate this game. Right? I don't know how they, like, can activate it. Do they have another Tamio to block? Yeah, they could maybe go to 1, then play Tamio, block this turn. Instead, I'm just going to blow up their Orderly Plaza. Belcher can't kill you. They can activate Belcher more than 1 times, guys. They can activate Belcher more than 1 time. I wouldn't mind to see Wish Control more often. Yeah, I think that there's an Omnath build of this that could exist. I don't know if there's an additional one besides Omnath. So now it's gonna be very hard to lose because they have to play every land tapped. It's very funny to see only a Tamio emblem in play. Like something happened here. Do we not have another bolt? No, we cut the bolts for flame slashes. Flashback different bolt. It just seems like I should be stone raining them every turn. Stone rain is like time walk draw a card, and I don't think we're getting a lot better than that. And then we have a lot more time walk draw cards here. They literally can't do anything about this. They cannot cast any spells because they can't play lands untapped. Yeah, now the game is over. They cannot beat this hand. Somehow the game is over. This is deck gets to play red Snapcaster Mage soon. Yeah, I don't know if that's better than Flashback or not. Especially because like it just turns on creature removal. I guess they couldn't beat just a single more Wildfire. All right, so we're 3-1. Fun matchup. Let's get a 4-1 prediction going. Our losses have been to double Ruby Storm and Cosmic Wave Fling, which do feel pretty unwinnable without like you have to make big changes to be good against. But overall, the deck's been looking. It's been working. It's been working. I guess we'll keep this. Let's see some. Oh, okay. So one thing about Red Snapcaster Mage, I was thinking this. Party Thrasher. Party Thrasher plus Red Snapcaster is really interesting. You get to go like, oh, dude, this is the Cleansing Wildfire mirror. This is the perfect last round of this league. They reveal Cryptic Command. Well, I drew 2 of my basics. They milled one of theirs. They should have plenty. Ooh, Ruby Medallion's huge top deck. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Party Thrasher plus the new Red Snapcaster whenever it comes out. I actually don't know when it's coming out, but I'm really excited for it. They do play some counter magic. Thankfully, they just don't have any. Is Modern and Standard different? I haven't played more than 15 years. Yes, there are 2 different ways to play the game. It's the same game where you're playing against one other player. You both have the same life total. Ooh, brutal Flame of Fenor here. It's the same way to play the game. It's like 2 players playing 1v1, but it's a different card pool. Modern it's all the cards from 8th edition onward. Every card that was printed first in the Modern card frame. Maybe they aren't playing the. Oh yeah, I thought they were gonna play. They were playing the Wildfire deck. Looks like they're playing this. Looks like they have 3 basics, and 2 of the basics are planes. Although this was a Flage build, so maybe they've moved away. I'm trying to Wildfire them off the Cryptic Command. And then Standard is it's like the most recent few sets. Was I happy about the ban update? Yeah, I was really happy. Like I think the Flage ban was really, really good. Lotus Field ban was fine. Fine. Like I'm slightly positive on it. And Jitte was literally blank, literally a do nothing, but net positive because Jitte is so bad it did deserve to be legal. And the violent. I was negative on the Violent Outburst ban, but certainly net positive. Few when there's 15 sets currently legal. I don't play a lot of Standard, but I didn't know it was that bad. They have to emulate Modern's greatness, I guess. So maybe they have there are other planes here, so they may be out of basics here. No, they're not out of basics. I'm gonna play the Pinnacle Monk, and I'm gonna hold up the Galvanic Discharge. Can Jitte power up tribal decks? At the moment, I believe Jitte is completely unplayable. Okay, I'll say completely unplayable to maybe Stoneforge Mystic decks want to play one copy. I played Stoneforge Mystic with Jitte. Jitte was by far the worst card in the deck. And was like 7 out of 7 times bad. And I think it was so bad. Potentially, you do not even want to play a Jitte in a Stoneforge Mystic deck. They reveal a second Cryptic Command. What the fuck? So I can field and Sundering Eruption, but I can't get this blue source because they won't have it fetched yet. Can Jitte power up any decks? Yeah, I think that Jitte is about as close to unplayable as it gets. You play Jitte in pretty bad decks though. Well, that's the thing is, like, Jitte in like a Stoneforge Mystic deck. Or sorry, Jitte in like Boros Energy is not playable. There are better flex spots there. You have to play it in Stoneforge Mystic decks. There isn't like a good Stoneforge Mystic deck. I will say both of those decks I played, I have trophied with in like the last with the Meteor Sword deck. It's been like the last 6 months. With the Hammer deck, it's been longer. I have trophied with that deck though. And I think that they have been power leveled out by the format, and I think that they did not get better with Jitte. And so, like, I don't think that blue-white Stoneforge Jitte is going to be good. I would love for it to be good, just like you would, but I don't think that it really has the potential. And like that's why I played Jitte in those decks, because Jitte, like I played Jitte with Cloud, where you get to double up the triggers, with Cassandra, where if you equip with a hit with the legendary equipment, you get to draw extra cards. Like I was intentionally trying to make Jitte as strong as possible, and it was still the worst card in the deck. So I'm a mana short of going Wish for Flashfires. Thoughts on that deck? Is this the Esper build? I think it's cool that this deck trophied. I find it very difficult to believe that Stoneforge Mystic is better than like the stock Blink builds. And even if it is, Jitte is still the worst card in this deck. Is where I'm at there, unfortunately. I don't like feeling this way about it. I wish Modern was a format where Jitte could be playable, and I hope to be proven wrong about Umezawa's Jitte. See if they have a third Flame of Anor. We can play the Ruby this turn. The person who trophied the league said the league was 5 times Rhino. That's funny. They flame and they kill the tablet instead of the Ruby. Weird game we're playing right now. So they have Cryptic Command up if they have another untapped fetchable. There's a Steam Vents. Let's cast a Wrenn's Resolve. I guess we'll cast a Wish here. So we have so many. Whenever I play is going to get countered by the Cryptic. Do anything. It counters whatever spell I get, and it draws a card. They Graveyard Attune the Narrative, and then they crack their Lantern. Main deck Lantern a little bit weird with Flage Band. Yeah, maybe you could get Magus, and then that'll give us enough mana to also cast something else here. So it looks like they're going to Prismatic Ending my Ruby Medallion, or Wrath Disguise to kill Ruby in this, while keeping up Cryptic Command. Okay, so we don't want to give them a window to cast the Cryptic. Maybe it's better to target Otawara because of the... Yeah, I guess I'll target the Otawara with the Eruption because of the Flashfires. So they bounce their own archive to their hand and they draw a card. It's funny. But that does mean that I cannot cast the Sundering Eruption this turn. Good play, good play. So they play a Surveil land, they put a card on top. Then they pass back. Don't think I can really pass up on any Stone Rains. I think it's probably a good turn to go wish for Ghost Vacuum. Cast Tune the Narrative. I guess we'll just do this now then. So there are at least 2 Thundertrap trainers. I guess there's not a monk in the yard, is there? No. Spike, would I play an X-style format in this format if it felt viable? I mean, nothing's off the table for me. I really try to keep an open mind to any archetype I'm playing. I try to explore all of the archetypes. I am someone that I just want to know Modern so I can continue to innovate in it. I have tried a good bit of eggs builds, and I can't tell you that they've been successful or like felt very close to being good. They tend to be weak to Storm hate and Graveyard hate and Artifact hate, which is like, and in addition to being slower than most of your other combo decks. I'm not going to bother exiling anything here. I do think. All right, so wish for flash. Yeah, let's see if this somehow makes them use a counter that they could have. I don't know that they do have a counter here, but this is going to be the turn to try to wish for Flashfires. Game 1. I cast Boil and Flashfires game 1 twice today. All right. So they plus their Teferi. What about Jatan Dice Factory? There's just no way it's playable in that. Like, you can't put enough counters on it for it to do enough and for it to be worth your plan. Nor can you attack and block with it. It just doesn't make sense. Do I get another Wildfire? Or do I get a wish? I think I'm gonna just get another Wildfire. This is better into like my opponent having counter spells. Worse into another snare, I guess. It's not so bad for me. I can just Ghost Vacuum that back. Failed to find. How did you get the idea of this deck? Literally, I had the thought, I wish, and the pun didn't come to me later, but I'm like, I wish I could main deck Flashfires. I wish I could main deck Shatterstorm at the same time. And then I'm like, well, what if I actually play Wish? And then I was kind of thinking about a Badgermole Cub build, decided to go with Tablet Ruby instead, and came together really well, honestly. It came together really well. Let's go ahead and side out the Flame Slashes. I think we can try to keep the Galvanic Discharges in. Probably find to like board in the Ghost Vacuum. I might board in the Legend of Roku. I think that's fine since the Boil and the Flashfires are such good wish targets. That seems okay. Yeah, we've wished for Chandra a lot, and Chandra's actually been really good. Like, she seems like the de facto, like, this is your top end win con. Yeah, let's keep this. Wait, my opponent chose to be on the draw? That's my move. Not that I would have chosen to be on the draw here. I just, usually if anybody's choosing to be on the draw, it's me. Badgermole seems cool with Flashfires because you land to come back. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think that there is an Omnath Badgermole wish build too. Like we could take the X spell Omnath shell that we trophied with and play the Badgermole stuff. So they reveal a Force of Negation. I guess we'll use this Manamorphose now. Do you go on the draw unlimited? I've never seen the appeal. In some limited formats, like if I've talked to my team, or I'm really studied up, then sometimes yeah, I'll choose to be on the draw. Only if that's like the consensus from other people, because I'm not a limited specialist, and that's not one I really want to trust my instincts on. I'd rather trust experts. For constructed, I usually choose to be on the draw in like specifically control mirrors where there's nothing that there's not anything you really care about resolving on the first 2 turns. I usually will just choose to be on the draw in those situations, and I usually choose to be on the draw in those situations because if you mulligan on the play in a control matchup where you just have nothing to tap out for early, you just lose. But if you're on the draw and you mulligan, it's not nearly as bad, and avoiding that is something I tend to like. Yeah, it used to be more common that a limited format, like usually sealed, occasionally sealed, was just better to be on the draw, but it's probably been too long. Andrew with tier 2 got blown up by Pinnacle Monk top deck last night. This is so cathartic. That's funny. Thank you for the 55 months. Appreciate you. We got them to force pitch Cryptic Command on just a Cleansing Wildfire. And they play a Thundering Falls tap. Probably going to be a good turn to tap out for Legend of Roku. If it's another force and they go down to 2 cards. They did keep a card on top. Tablet maybe better to tap out for here. I think I'm committed to the Legend. So it seems like they have something, but it's probably a force of negation, and they're not sure what they want to pitch. No, it just resolves. Great. We don't hit a land, which is a little bit annoying, but we do hit 3 cards we can use. How hard do you think it would be for this deck to win against Zoo? You're pretty cool to Leyline Scion as like mono red builds. You have like Wish for Ensnaring Bridge, I guess. Tablet played too hard in Flame. Yeah, I think that's a good bit of feedback. Who's my favorite member of the gang? Probably Sokka. Did not find a land in quite a few cards here. Let me cast the Ghost Vacuum. Oh, you know what? This was bad to do this first because of Flame of Venor. Can't imagine this deck is better than 40% against Boros. I think this deck would be a lot better against Boros than it would be against something like Domain Zoo. Like, you just have a lot of cheap removal spells, and you have like a lot of like you have Wish for Flashfires, Wish for Pyroclasm game 1. Snickerdoodle, Twitch Prime, thank you. And you don't have to worry about Flage anymore. I don't really have a good Wish target for next turn. They're not going to bounce the Legend of Roku, are they? Okay, counter draw. We'll take it. And thanks again, Doc. Who's my favorite member of the Always Sunny gang? You know what? On like my first few watches, Mac was my least favorite. I think Mac has become my favorite over the years. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to just let this Wish go. Isn't a decent boil spot. I can't cast boil. Cost 8 mana, I only have 5. I think I want to try to like make Flashfires the better target here, since they have, I guess they have the same number. No, they have more. 3 HD gamers with the Twitch Prime, thank you. They can kill the Legend. Isn't it better to hit basics? I think with like Wish for Flashfires, I want to leave the basics in play, but it's a conversation. On to Ruby. Would you have ever hit a land in the sideboard as 3 mana land? No, I think that almost never comes up. And even if it does come up sometime, like, it's still probably not like a net positive sideboard card for you to play. Might be playing a little bit too much into Wrath, although it's okay if they Wrath these. Stormic with the 16 months, thank you. I'll probably hit Basic Mountain next. So they Surveil and Response. It does seem like they have a counter spell. Do you have substitutes for someone who doesn't have flashbacks? I don't know. I mean, I guess you could just play more like Reckless Impulse / Wrenn's Resolve in that spot. Be fine. I guess I'll be okay if I miss on my land for this. Or if I hit a land on this and I can't cast it. Deck is so cool. Hit 2 mountains, so we're only going to be able to play one of them this game. I am going to flashback Wildfire. And then probably also cast this Wrenn's Resolve this turn. Although we'll see what we draw. They started to pay costs like immediately, and then they stopped. So now let me target the island so that Flashfires is just destroy all lands. Yeah, I thought about playing Empty the Warrens. You just can't play every spell, of course. Well, I didn't think they had Snapcaster in their deck. I guess it makes sense. So they snap Snare, and they did keep a card on top. There's a somewhat high chance they have like a Wrath of Skies. Maybe that's what they're going to tap out for here. Stony Silent. They boarded in Stony? I guess I should just go for it, huh? Yeah, I think I should just go for it. Casting this also means like flashbacks are live. But it didn't really seem like they had 2 counter spells last turn. It seemed like they kept the Stony Silence on top for some reason. Like they would have played it out earlier, yeah. Alright, you got an island, and a Snapcaster, and a Stony Silence. Oh, scratch that. They play Otawara. I guess I'll just cast 2 1-mana Sundering Eruptions. See if this resolves. I guess I'll play the tablet next turn. Or I guess I can play this turn for 1 mana and cast almost anything. It's bad if I hit Wish. I think it's okay. I hit Discharge. And then let's not play the Field of Ruin because we don't want them to know about it. Alright. So we went 3-2 into 4-1 with this deck, which is pretty crazy. I really expected this like deck to not play this well, and I expected to kind of more so try to learn about the Wish stuff. I expected to more so learn about the Wish stuff, but instead it ended up going really dang well. I do think I want to return to like the Wish as interaction package, maybe in Omnath. But I think we're gonna move on from